one of the things I really like about being limited to a prime lens
Yeah.
is that you're forced then to do the creative work in your brain. Like on a 24-70, you can be lazy.
Yeah.
And a 70-200, you can be lazy,
Yeah.
right?
You're listening to the Shoot Your Shot podcast with Lindsay and Tim.
Welcome back to the Shoot Your Shot podcast. My name is Tim. This is Lindsay. We're both wedding and portrait photographers. If you didn't already know, we're here to do a little Q&A with you. That's the whole show. You can reach out to us through the Shoot Your Shot podcast on Instagram, and we answer your questions when it comes to wedding and portrait photography related business. Today is a wonderful day. We start every episode by rolling the magic 8 ball to...
Do you see that I put it right in front of you so you
That
don't
was
forget?
excellent. Usually it's back here, and I forget, and now it's here up front and center.
You literally can't forget if it's right in the middle of us.
Everyone needs a higher power, and ours is the magic 8 ball. For right, I shouldn't look at the answer question. For a question, do you have a question for this thing, Lindsay? What's your...
Do I have a question for it? Wow. I have my emotional support Free People shirt on today because, you know, I'm tired. It's November.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tim, I'm struggling on a question here.
Okay.
What should we ask it? Is this a good weekend for me to put up my Christmas tree?
Hey,
Yeah, I've been questioning it. I feel like it's the time, but
the answer is... I can't read this anymore.
are you okay?
No, you tell me what that says.
No, it has gotten really bad. It has gotten really bad.
Should we get a new magic 8 ball for
Yeah.
the new year? And should we put up the Christmas tree?
Cannot predict now.
Okay.
As soon as you threatened it,
Yeah.
soon as you said you were going to get a new one, it said the answer right away. Okay,
when
well,
it starts working properly, we'll jump into it. Do you have any... I mean, we should riff for a bit before we get to the question. We have a doozy of a question here from one of our listeners, but...
yeah. How's your last couple of weeks been? So we're well into November here.
Yeah.
We're mid-November. I'm really not sure how that happened. I was at an appointment the other day and she's like, okay, so we'll book you in for January. I was like,
January, it's August. What are you talking
what
about?
are you talking about? It's literally just a chilly day in July. So that's crazy.
Yeah,
but-
no, my editing is in full swing right now for all the weddings from September and October. I'm delivering all this week, which is great.
Such a good feeling.
But it's definitely been a bit of a journey to get through. And
Have you had a challenging week, Tim?
I've had a bit of a challenging week, but it's fine. It's okay. It's all for good things. I still love my job. I still love my couples, my clients. I want them to have nice things.
Mm-hmm.
So
Our
I'm
most
working my butt off.
challenging days make us grow better as people.
And they're still like the easiest day compared to a lot of positions and jobs in this world. Like
And this is
imagine
the
if you're an EMT. Challenging days on EMT job. That would be impossible.
Yeah,
I could never do it.
I'm reading this book called The Women by Kristen Hanna. Kristen Hanna? Yeah. She does historical fiction.
Okay.
And the book is about all of the women that were in Vietnam during the war.
Okay.
And like they were nurses.
Yeah.
And yeah, that would be a worse job.
Yeah, I can't imagine a worse job.
Combat nurse.
Yeah, no, we're not
Like-
saving lives, right?
We are not saving lives. No,
Yeah.
we're not. So, you know, if you're in the weeds or you're having challenging weeks, I find this to be one of the hardest times of year
Yeah.
because you have just delivered so much and you probably delivered a lot in a really rapid succession, but you still have a fair amount to do, whether it be if you're doing Christmas mini sessions or you're just trying to wrap up some more weddings that are still needing to be edited or family sessions that are needing to be edited. But my hardest struggle is when I get feedback or requests from that huge boatload of stuff that I just sent out, being like, hey, can you open so-and-so's eyes? Or can you start designing an album for us? Or do you mind re-editing this section? Whatever it might be,
Yeah.
right? I'm always like, my eye is like twitching. I'm like, for sure. Let me get on that. I have started making it a little bit easier on myself. So when people want to talk about albums, I tell them, well, actually, just this past week, I help me. And one of the things that I realized is a barrier for me to sell albums is the back and forth involved in it with my clients. Like
Right.
the ordering process. So I use Wood and Banana for my albums. And I prefer people to order them through me than ordering them through their online gallery.
Yeah.
I think for something like that, I would rather I design it because I just know I'm going to do a better job of it. I use the Fundy album design software to design it. It's so nice. It allows for clients to provide feedback. However, That's once we've decided what size of album they want, how many of them they want, if they want multiple, if they want like one 12 by 12 and two 10 by 10s for themselves and their parents.
Yeah.
What cover fabric do you want? Oh, you want the velvet? Okay, so we can only engrave the velvet. We can't emboss the velvet. They're like, what the frick does that mean? Oh, you want to emboss it? Okay, we can do gold, rose gold, copper, silver. There's just so much involved.
So
and
many
since
options.
I don't want to do in-person sales, I had to come up with a way, essentially an order form that has all of the information baked into it as well. So before, sort of what I did have was like an informational guide, a PDF. So it was literally 15 pages. Wood and Banana, phenomenal for this. I'm a huge fan of theirs. I'm like literally their number one stan right now. They provide resources for photographers. So they will provide you with like promotional images, guides that include like a lot of information. But what it doesn't include is pricing because you set the price. Yeah. So they don't have pricing built into it. And that would be the one thing everybody would ask me. They'd be like, okay, well, I'm interested in all these things, but how much does this cost?
So you made a guide.
So I made it's like 25-page guide with a corresponding order form that as you go through each section, it shows you the relevant pages of the guide that hopefully you already scanned through just to make life easier. And then it just asks you like very simple questions that I was previously asking in back-to-back emails like an absolute moron. Well, I wasn't a moron. It was just incredible. It took me a full 8 hours to
job.
like make this thing.
Yeah.
And it worked out really well because I do have clients that are currently ordering 3 albums from me. So I was like, well, I'm not just making this for like the future. I'm making this to make my life easier currently.
Yeah, smart.
And then also in the future. So anyways, I'm going to do a bunch of album sales and I'm excited for that.
That's great.
I don't remember where I was going with that, but
we're so tired.
I'm literally so tired. I just thought you guys should all know. Oh, no, what I was going to say, we are so tired. We're going back to how I think it can be really challenging at this time of year because you have just delivered July, August, September. All of our clients are now not traveling. They're home. They're like, oh, I'm going to go through my photos again, figure out what I want to print, they start shopping. What that requires is customer service. And unfortunately, when your capacity is really low because you're still in the weeds because you still have September, October, November weddings to deliver and shoot, you're like, I don't really have customer service in me right now.
But also you're up against the gun because Christmas and holiday season becoming,
Literally.
the gift-giving season becoming, people need this stuff by mid-December at the latest.
I know, and we were just talking about this last week. So if you missed last week's episode, we talked a little bit about, well, actually a lot. We talked about it a lot.
Quite a bit.
About how to make money this holiday season.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it requires effort. It requires like a few hours of effort to get yourself set up. I mean, you can beef this thing out as much as you want to. You can go to the absolute moon with your sales, but most print labs have a deadline. So my favorite thing is that Wood and Banana's print deadline is December 1st. And so that's sort of my cue to be like, your stuff's in by December 1st or it's not happening. Yeah. At least for photo books, right? For cards and stuff, we can try, but I think also your Christmas cards should probably be out by the first week of December, if not second. Yeah. Which means that they need it to be printed.
There's a postal strike maybe coming in Canada too. That should be interesting.
Oh, that'll be really fun for everybody. But GTA is, I don't know. Do you do many like custom prints or anything like that, or do
it's all done automated? I don't do any
through Pixie Set.
Through Pixie Set, yeah. It's all very automated. I don't really touch it.
Let me tell you something interesting.
Go for it.
Pixie Set still doesn't have a Canadian print lab.
I know. I'm aware.
I literally just looked this up yesterday, because Nova was sending me a message. She was like, I really want to give people the option for some reasonably priced Christmas cards this year, and she was like, but I'm getting killed on the
shipping
on the US dollar conversion from WHCC. And like, she's not even, her cost on the cards aren't that high, but it's USD. So no one's making money actually. It's not like, oh, WHCC is making good money, so that's nice for them. Or you're making a healthy profit. Literally no one is making money.
No one makes good money on that.
We're just doing a conversion of
I know.
dollars.
I need to switch out of Pixie Set, and I realize this, but so much of my website is embedded through them. My entire CRM is through them. All of my galleries are currently through them.
That's how they keep
all
you.
My blog posts are through them.
Smart.
So it's really brilliant on their part to keep me around. But the goal for 2025 is to switch to Focal, to switch to PicTime, to just change everything up. But I'm waiting for the end of the calendar.
It'll take about a week.
Yeah.
Like I would say one whole week.
I got time in January. We'll make it
Yeah.
work then. Not
Yeah.
right now, though.
No, not right
It's
now.
insane right now.
No.
But I'm excited because, Pick Time's rolling out video I saw on their little teaser they did on Instagram. They're doing
They did announce it. I was looking at you with like wide eyes, like
Shut up.
I don't know. Did
you sign an
Can we
NDA?
edit this? Is this live?
Yeah, no, they rolled
they've
it out.
announced it. Okay,
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so freaking excited.
That'd be cool.
I love to make little gifts for my clients, and I will sometimes just like DM them to them, like if it's like a sequence of events, like a confetti toss
Sure.
or like them walking
A
or
GIF.
something like that.
Sure.
I love to make a little GIF, and thus far there has been no seamless way for me to send that to them within their thing. So I'm excited for that.
That'll
Even
be
just
nice.
as a photographer, I'm excited. But you must be stoked.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how robust that looks because Pixie Set also allows video. They have for like 2 years now, I think. But it's very much like you build another page of a gallery and then you just put videos in there and there's no real...
And I
There's
heard
no
the
beauty to
pricing
it.
is insane.
I'm the top tier. Everything's included, so I don't really have to deal with that.
Okay. I was like, I heard the pricing on video was insane.
I
but
pay like $700 a year and it's everything. Which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
For CRM, full gallery, unlimited website, and video uploading. So it's kind of nice. But the VidFlow interface for video specific delivery is much nicer. I also subscribe to that for my video clients.
Oh, yes. You sent me some videos the other day and they look beautiful on there.
So if PickTime, you're listening and watching, I hope you are. Maybe you aren't. That's okay. Maybe someone you
Hi,
know.
Aga.
Hi, Aga. Hi, everyone. If you could please make the PickTime video features and rollout look as pretty or somewhere near in the ballpark of VidFlow and like MediaZilla and all these other video-centric ones, I'd be so happy to switch.
But you know what? PickTime, that's like their thing. Aesthetics are their thing.
I know. That's why I think it might be.
I think they're going to nail
the
that.
move. Yeah.
Because Pixie Set was just like firmly fine.
Yeah.
Like absolutely fine.
It's literally, it felt like a we'll just turn that feature on. Fine. We'll adjust it. We'll never update that feature.
Yeah. Like they have the same fonts. They do the same covers. They never update with the times.
Bingo.
Yeah, I know. I'm a PickTime stan. I have to tell you the funniest thing.
Please tell me the funniest thing.
You guys are going to die. Okay, so remember last week when I was talking about Kirkland snack packs?
I know this story.
Yeah, I was really upset.
I know this story.
So I have been on a Costco kick, so kill me, right? So whatever. Sue me? Probably don't kill me.
Don't
Anyways, I've been on a Costco kick. And last Saturday, I had 15 of my holiday tree farm sessions.
Yes.
Okay, so
Insane.
15 back to back
Not insane.
every 20 minutes.
You know what? That's pretty reasonable. You were telling me that some of the photographers were like working day, like sunrise to sunset, basically.
Sunrise to sunset with
What was
no
your
breaks
schedule
in
like?
between.
Was yours like?
No, so I started at 9 a.m. and
Okay.
then I did go to sunset.
That's good. Yeah.
Like I'm there already, and then I had a lunch break in the middle because
Good
I
for
have
you.
goofed that up in
Good
the past
for you.
before. Yeah, and then I was supposed to have not a full day. I was supposed to have another half day on the Sunday. This is how the cookie crumbled. I always try to only limit it, and then I end up saying yes to a few more people. Anyways, I am sure. Have you ever had a wedding nightmare? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like the night before
Constantly.
a wedding, you wake up and in the middle of your dream, you're like, I forgot to put cards in my camera.
Just insanity.
Or I didn't bring a camera with me to this wedding. Whatever the crazy nightmare dreams are that you have.
It's usually
So-
like I'm stuck in mud and I can't move fast enough to get a shot or like some kind of setup.
Oh,
Or like-
that's
Or the
interesting.
timing is insane. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like, why are we? And then things are happening without me being there. I'm like, I just feel like sick to my stomach. And I wake
I
up and I'm like,
always have a wedding nightmare about that I am in Windsor. This
Ugh.
is the same one. I have like a recurring one that I'm in Windsor, and my client calls me and says, by the way, our planner told you we moved the wedding to Muskoka, right? Like it would be not possible for me to get
6-hour
there.
drive, yeah.
No, I think it'd be like 8 anyways. So that's my wedding nightmare.
yikes.
When I do these holiday sessions, because of course they're only once a year.
Once a year.
So it's not like I'm well rehearsed at it. I'm not having wedding nightmares all the time. I have wedding nightmares at the beginning of the season
Okay.
when I'm like a little bit out of practice, or it's just a new thing for my brain to have to reprocess again, right? It's a stressor. So I frequently don't sleep before these holiday shoots. Like I don't sleep very well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
If I do sleep, it's like a stressy nightmare sleep.
Love that. What is delight?
Listen to this nightmare that
What a
I
wonderful
had.
career we've made for
Listen
ourselves.
to this nightmare that I had. Speaking of the Kirkland snack packs.
Okay.
I had a nightmare all night long and I kept on waking up laughing. It wasn't at all funny during it. Like I was terrified and I was like, this is actually so bad. But I had a dream that lasted my entire sleep all night long.
Okay.
That the tree farm called me and was like, hey, we can't do this. The weather's going to be bad. It's not going to be safe for your clients to come out. But don't worry. We called Costco and you can go and do your photos in the artificial tree aisle at Costco on a Saturday.
Now, you weren't specific when you told me this. Was it like an aisle within the store? Or was it like the outdoor kind of fenced-in area?
You know where the artificial tree aisle is.
Oh,
in
artificial
Costco.
tree. Yeah.
So the artificial tree
middle.
aisle, it's directly in the middle of the store. There's like inflatables. There's inflatables around you.
Snowshoes.
There's always kids like bobbing and weaving through you.
Because there's toys everywhere. Because they interlace it.
It's literally like a Santa's workshop situation.
It's like the DMZ.
You're surrounded by the deli.
Yeah.
It smells like meat and cheese and seafood everywhere.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't go to Costco on a Saturday because that's already my nightmare. Like I would never do that even if I had the day off. I would literally never go there on a Saturday.
Not fun.
That's one of the joys of being self-employed is that I go on a Tuesday at 9 a.m. when they open. Like I'm not going.
Kelly wants to go on a weekend, man. It's tough.
That's criminal.
I know.
What is she thinking? She should take a day off just to go to Like, I'm not doing it. It's absolutely not happening.
I don't want to do it
So I only go through the week.
will.
So this is already my nightmare.
Yeah.
And then I have like, and it's a real situation in my brain to the point that I've beefed out this story that my actual client, my 9 a.m. client, I knew which family it was. They're standing there. They're ready to go. I'm taking photos of them. And then my 9:30 client is right behind me. They're talking with customers everywhere.
Yikes.
And I'm trying to do these Christmas tree farm sessions in the Costco. It's a pretty funny.
How'd the scene look though? Were the trees up on skids, like in the middle?
Yes.
Oh, God.
There's literally Lego boxes.
So you're shooting with a
everywhere.
20mm lens because you have to be that. Because you're this
you know
close
what? I
to the
wasn't
other.
thinking about gear when I was in the
Okay.
dream. So that was the one thing. I think I was just thinking, I have to do this again next weekend
Good grief.
at the farm.
You have one more day. Let's hope it
So-
doesn't end up at Costco. That'd be
Yeah,
nice for
so
you.
I do have one more day because it ended up raining on Sunday, and I did not reschedule my clients to Costco. I just rescheduled them. So
Yeah.
I have one more day. I think part of my stress is that I know that this weekend the tree farm will be open to the public.
Shoot.
So it's going to feel a little bit Costco-y.
Yeah.
But I have such a crazy setup that people won't come near me. If they do come near me, it's going to be like, can we take photos here? And I'll be like, literally get away
out.
from me.
Beat it.
Does this look like the mall? There's no Santa here.
Just his stuff. Let's.
We're really in the holiday spirit here. Does this look like the mall?
What do I look like, a freezer? Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll get to the question from our
Absolutely.
listener.
Let's go. I found and discovered the most incredible service. It's called Social Templates.
Social templates.
If you have noticed that I've been putting out an awful lot of reels this year, yes, I have been. I'm sure you all know that the only way for you to get your images in front of clients now is by making them into videos. That's fun. Angela over at Social Templates and her team, they have put together the most amazing product. It's built right in Instagram. So you don't have to have other apps. You just sign up for a subscription, and every single week she's putting out Reels templates. They're always trending audio. They are focused specifically for photographers, whether you're a family photographer, a wedding photographer, a real estate photographer, she has you covered. And all you have to do is simply drag and drop some BTS videos that I'm sure you have in your phone, as well as maybe 10 to 20 of your favorite photos from the session, and it's automatically synced with trending audio. This year for Black Friday, Social Templates is doing something absolutely wild. You sign up before Black Friday using the code Lindsay, you will get 25% off of the monthly or annual subscription forever.
Whoa.
Until you stop using the service, which will be never, 25% off the monthly or annual subscription. And the annual subscription is already discounted.
Whoa.
So when you put the 25% on, it works out to be less than $19 a month. To subscribe, you can head to the description in this video, or you can go to socialtemplates.co on Instagram and use their link to subscribe, but make sure that you use the code Lindsay to get that fat discount.
Socialtemplates.co, code Lindsay.
Tim, how was your fall this year?
It was wonderful. It was great.
Tell me more, because I hear a lot of people, they got a huge editing
A
backlog.
lot of you are probably struggling out there. Not me. I use Imagine.
Aren't you perfect? I wish I could use Imagine.
Lindsay, like you at home listening, you can also use Imagine. In fact, you do use Imagine. I know this about you. Link is in the description of this episode. You can get 1,500 free edits. That's like a free wedding to edit. They do auto culling, cropping, skin smoothing, teeth whitening. They use presets that you've created as a photographer to make the editing process streamlined and easy.
And it's like 5 cents an image after that 1,500. It's really, really cheap, you guys. There is no better way to edit your photos faster and in the most consistent way possible than Imagine.
Check out the link in the description below to get 1,500 free edits. Try it out. Make sure it works for you. You're not going to look back. It's going to be the greatest thing of your editing career.
Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays, everyone. Back to the episode. Welcome back to the show. We have a question from a listener. And I know this is unconventional, Lindsay.
Tell me. What is it?
Let's get into it.
I'm nervous now.
Hi, Lindsay and Tim. Long time, first time. I know you have mentioned that you don't want to talk about gear on the podcast, but I really want to know what a typical wedding day looks like from you both when it comes to lenses. Please keep me anonymous so the villagers with pitchforks don't come for me in the comments.
Who sent this? Chris Tejas?
I will never reveal my source. We'll keep this person safe and keep them happy. And I allowed this one through. I thought it was interesting. It wasn't what camera are you shooting on? It was lenses.
Lenses is allowed.
And I thought we could kind of dive into not just the lenses that we started with maybe in our career as photographers, where we are now, and then also some of the auxiliary gear that we like to purchase this time of year, given that it's like Black Friday times.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I think that sounds great.
So where'd you start? What was your first lens?
My first lens would have been, I had all of Taylor's gear.
Fair.
That's not really fair.
Very fair.
The first big lens that I bought for myself was a 24-70. And then right after that was a 70-200. So I sold a car and I was like, I'm buying lenses, basically is what happened there. The first lens that I recommend to people now is a 50, 1.8.
Yeah.
And I like this question because it does go across the board regardless of the camera brand that you're using.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why I am probably switching from Canon to Nikon is that Canon with their mirrorless series has still not opened up their mount
Third-party lenses.
to third parties to create for them, which I think is just skeezy and has made it incredibly expensive.
It's very Apple walled garden of them.
And also their lenses are not that fantastic. So
No,
I'm
not
like,
great.
no, I'd actually would really love to have a better lens that's not massive also. Like I used to love when I was shooting Nikon, the Sigma 50
the artisan lens.
1.4.
The Sigma Art Series, that was so nice.
It was so heavy.
Yeah.
But it was the most beautiful lens.
35 to 50.
It
they
was
were
so
great.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
The Canon 1.2 is 1.2, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is beautiful. It is so big,
It's a big
that
boy.
I just absolutely refuse.
The 28-70 is also Canon. That's RF, and it's also gorgeous, but it's
huge.
It's it literally is a Canon. No pun intended.
Yeah.
It's as thick as like an elephant's foot. It's insane.
I don't know what they were thinking. It is interesting.
They were
'cause I
thinking
feel
money,
like
Lindsay. That's what
Years
they're
ago, there was never a conversation really with people around like how heavy things were and if
Yeah.
that's going to be sustainable for you to carry that around. They'd just be like, well, it's the best glass, so like get used to it kind of.
Yeah.
And now I think because there are so many women that are shooting long wedding days, like this is not a dude's world here. Like this is a very female centric. I don't understand why the camera brands have not recognized that women take photos. Like actually a good majority of photographers are probably female.
I think it's because brands that are like, a bit more older, let's say, maybe not that. The point I'm trying to make is that they're aiming at boomers who take photos of birds and moose and bears.
And this is a
because
thing.
those guys will buy, massive.
They'll buy
buck-off
the
lenses.
$10,000 thing because
Yeah.
they're a dentist.
Yeah.
Dentist Dawn is like
People
no
go on
problem, I'll
safari. They
spend
want to sell to
$8,000.
those assholes.
Yes.
Yeah, every year.
Yes, which is kind of crazy though because like
Those guys are dying.
and we're hard on our gear, so they might have that lens for 20, 30
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
I'm gonna have a lens for a couple of years, and then I'm like, I gotta get another.
I've
one.
gone through like 18 lenses in 10 years of doing this job. Like,
Oh
that's
yeah,
insane.
easily.
So,
like, I mean, they're still. I shouldn't say like, oh yeah, like these are disposable.
Yeah. No, but it's like you change brands and then you also
Mm-hmm.
update things and you sell things and things maybe break and then you re-up,
Yeah, you crack the side of them.
So
or
a 50,
whatever.
huh? That was your first, that was like the first lens that really made you feel like I can do this? or?
50 I really loved. So when I first started second shooting for Taylor, like that's how I got into weddings.
Yeah.
He would just put a 50 or a 35 on a camera,
Yeah.
put it on aperture priority and let me roll.
Have fun.
And I think that really allows you to not. One of the things I really like about being limited to a prime lens is that you're forced then to do the creative work in your brain instead of like I stand in one spot and just you know, just move a lens around. Yeah. Like on a 24 to 70, you can be lazy.
Yeah.
And a 70 to 200, you can be lazy.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas on a 50 or an 85 or a 35, you're boxed in. And I kind of like that.
You got to zoom with your feet.
You got to zoom with your feet. What was your favorite, like, starting out lens?
It was definitely a 52.
Yeah.
50 as well.
1.8.
It was 1.8. It was a Nikon.
They're so cheap.
So cheap. It was a Nikon F series, I think. So it was 4 films. So it had the manual aperture. And I bought it because I had a D90. And I said, I want something that looks kind of cool. This was cheap at Henry's in Canada, in Toronto. And I picked it up. And like, oh, you can get some like nice out of focus cinematic looks to it. And I'm like, oh, instantly, just like you're a pro. You just look at that photo, that image, and you see the out of focus elements. And you're like, wow, professionalism.
Yes.
And I stuck with it for a very long
Bokeh.
time. The fact that it was still clunky, autofocus was slow. There was no internal motor, so it relied on the body of the camera to like focus.
Oh, wow.
So it was
really slow.
Real slow. But this is the start of my career.
I'm not that old, so I don't remember those days.
And then the second lens I bought was a wide angle Boy. It was a 10 to 20 Tamron. And I used that for like parties, which is very funny because it's coming back in vogue right now. But I would, I go to like parties with friends with a giant flash and a camera and just like create some really distorted, disgusting images of people. And they loved it. It was a lot of fun.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I would have hated that.
Oh yeah, no one looked good, but like it was a weird group of people.
No one was in love with how they looked in them.
These were like roller derby people, so they were just weirdos to begin with. So like this is fun.
I love that you did have a roller derby.
I did have a roller derby phase. Yeah.
No, wait, you didn't do.
I know. I was just adjacent. I just hung out. You know.
You love the roller derby queens.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
I dated a
roller derby queen.
Yeah.
Wow, cool guy.
Cool guy. Early 2000s.
I do like a weird, like wide lens, but I mean, my version of weird is very different from like yours or Taylor's, like or Sam's. Like we're not talking like weird distorted fish eyes.
Yeah,
like,
it was very fish eye.
Yeah, like I still want people to look nice. I just want it to be like crazy. You're at 24. You know what I mean? I do like a 24 actually.
24 is nice.
But if I was to start my kit right now,
okay.
This is the order in which I would buy them.
What do you got?
Okay. Starting out, hopefully you're not shooting weddings yet. You're like, I just got to start building a kit somewhere. Or maybe somebody's letting you second shoot for them and you're...
Or it's a friend's wedding and they're like, we're paying you in cheese or something, you know? Like...
No, I would still not. No. You should not be shooting a wedding, whether it's for free or not, on this kit that I'm about to tell you should get. Okay, because this will suck for you and everybody involved. And then you'll be like, I'm never shooting another wedding again. I would have a 50, a 35, and an 85. Okay. That would be my holy grail. That would be my trio that I would start out with.
Yeah.
As far as like the most minimal kit to really see what you like and see what you enjoy. An 85, 1.8, phenomenal in dark settings. Like it's still fairly inexpensive if you're shooting Nikon. Sorry if you're shooting Canon because they're just going to roast you on that one. Yep. I do have the Samyang 85 1.4. It's gorgeous. It's truly gorgeous. It has like a really weird peachy lens flare.
Oh, cool.
Which I really enjoy. Nice. Like I don't understand it or why it does that. But that was before they got sued by Canon for making a lens for the RF mount.
Yeah. An autofocus lens.
Regardless of what you are, you know, shooting on, whatever system, I would do a 35, 50, and 85 because the 30, maybe even if you're going to do something different, do a 24 instead of a 35, just so you have something a bit wider. If you're in a tight space, you know, you've got a family session that's in the dark, whatever.
Yeah.
That would be like a pretty good little portrait kit.
If you're in Costco between two aisles, need something wider.
If you're stuck in the artificial tree aisle in Costco, the 24 is going to slap.
Yeah, dude.
But all of them are going to give you a really nice like depth of field. Yeah. They're going to give you some nice light, and they're going to just give you a good range to work with.
And they'll make you feel like good. Like they'll instantly make you feel like, oh, I took an out of focus background photo. Like
and then they're going to make you enough money.
Yeah.
To get a 24 to 70.
Yes.
That's probably the next thing that I would get is a 24 to 70. That's the most versatile lens.
It is very good.
I hate the Canon 24 to 70.
Okay, tell me more.
First of all, if you guys shoot Canon, the RF, okay, if you're shooting on the R6, R6 Mark II, whatever, you're shooting on this R series.
La-di-da.
And you have the 24 to 70.
Okay.
Can you please tell me right now if yours is covered in scratches? Because my lenses get all treated the same way. They don't get put in my bag with lens caps on. I don't use lens hoods. I do put a lens cap on my 24-70 and it is covered in scratches, and none of my other lenses are covered in scratches. None of them even have one singular little scratch. This thing has like gouges taken out of it. It looks like a T-Rex got at it.
Good grief.
And I saw somebody in, I want to say Ben Hartley's Facebook group say
Okay.
the same thing, that their 24-70 is rocked.
Really?
And they brought it in and Canon was like, oh yeah, we need to put a new front element on this. And she
Jesus
was like, well, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And she said the same thing. She said she's never had a lens get so scratched up, and this 24-70 is just rocked. So I think either they put the front element too close to the end of the
top, the front
whatever.
of the
There's not, it's
barrel?
not recessed, and like there should
Yeah.
be some recess, or they just put a really, really terrible film on the front of it so it's not protected at all.
Probably.
And that just makes me so mad. But anyways, I don't like it for many reasons. I think the coloring is not my favorite. I just think it looks like meh.
Yeah.
But it's a very versatile lens.
Very versatile. Whatever brand you're with, 24-70 can get you through
The
pretty much
Nikon
the entire wedding day.
24-70 was my dream come true.
Yeah.
I loved that lens so much. The Canon 70-200, 2.8. So that would be my next one.
Okay.
Is if I was doing a 24-70, then somehow you find another $4,000 in your piggy bank and you're like, I'm going to go for it. Do the 70-200, 2.8. Cannot stress this enough.
Not the 4.
I did the F4 when I switched to Canon because I had just spent so much money on gear.
Yeah.
And almost all of last wedding season, I didn't need a 70-200. No, the season before that, because it was COVID, rooting all these small weddings. It was like I could just shoot on my 85, no problem.
Yeah.
And then last wedding season, 2023, I was like, okay, I should get the 70-200. I was just trying to be cheap, which is it was really stupid of me.
You still made some nice images. Don't beat yourself up, dude.
The 70-200, do you know what I said? And this is so silly of me. I literally said to Abdullah at BJ, I don't shoot in cathedrals. I need this for an outdoor ceremony setting.
Yeah.
And he said, the F4 I would not shoot inside, but if you're only shooting outside, then that's fine.
Yeah.
And what do I have last year? 3
F4.
huge cathedral weddings.
Great.
So I just don't want gear to ever be limiting. And I
Yeah.
think that that's what the F4 is. It's very, very limiting, and it's not inexpensive enough. You're already, like, if you're giving somebody a couple grand,
Yeah.
what's two more?
What's 2 more, you know? So
It is just stupidly expensive, but the 70-200 is beautiful. If you shoot on literally any system other than Canon, you'll be able to buy used 70-200s that
Yeah.
are probably beautiful. That's my first Nikon 70-200 was a used one, and it was gorgeous.
what are you using today? Today's weddings. What are you using right now?
I would say on 2 different camera bodies, I usually start my day with a 24-70 and a 50 or 35 combo to start. I like to start the day with something not super in your face. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't start with the 24-70. That would be for me to get like a wide shot of the building coming up.
Right.
And then I would start with a 50 for portraits and probably pop over to like the 24-70 would probably be what I would shoot like
Family formals?
No, I would shoot flat lay on,
Oh, okay.
and then I would switch to the 35 because it's a macro. So
So you're
I can get
switching. You're
closer.
switching around a lot. You're jumping around.
Yeah, I bounce around.
Okay.
And then I leave the 50 on. I would say a fair amount, but yeah, no, I've been bopping.
Okay.
I've been bopping. 70-200 for the ceremony.
Yeah.
Just looking back at the images that I've delivered in the past year, I would like to go back to 70-200 for family formals. I've been doing the 24-70 a lot lately.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to switch to the 70-200. I just think
Creates better images for you.
the separation
Yeah.
of the background really.
Yeah. People's features look better at 70 as opposed to 35. So
Yeah.
checks out.
So those are my thoughts. And then,
Okay.
flashes. Currently I'm using Godox, but
Yeah. We're not talking about flashes.
I wouldn't
though.
recommend that. Oh, you only want to talk about
We're
lenses.
just talking
I'm
about
sorry.
lenses.
Well,
Let's go to we're just chatting lenses. So
sorry, Anonymous.
that's
You're
okay.
right.
We're not getting
talking
into
about
gear.
I just thought
we can't get. This is a slippery slope, which is why this show is not about gear, because it would devolve into a gear episode, and there's
Let's
enough
roll.
nonsense on YouTube for that shit already. Today, I use primarily a 50 mil, the 51.2 on Canon, which is beautiful. It really is nice, very versatile. It is heavy as hell, but strong boy.
Oh, you're so jacked.
I work out once a year. That's not true, but no, it's something I really enjoy working with. Paired with, like, I like a big camera. You know, I have the R3.
Yeah.
I have big monster hands, and having like a big.
You have
camera.
monster hands? I'm not sure.
You don't think that's a monster hand?
Like,
A little bit bigger.
it's
You're
a bit
warm.
bigger. Yeah, we're both very warm.
Clammy. It's too hot in the studio.
Okay,
No, I
you've
like
totally
a big
got
grip.
big manly hands. You're right, Tim. I
Stop.
shouldn't have said that you
Shut up.
don't. I shouldn't
I
have
like
said you
a
don't.
big grip.
Tim has huge
Okay.
manly.
I like gripping a big lens, a
No,
big camera.
I agree.
It feels nice.
It looks nice too.
Yeah.
I think it looks very cool.
It does feel nice.
I like the top screen. Anyways, we're not talking about cameras.
It's not talking about cameras. So a 50 and a 24, I can typically get through most of a day with when it comes to like portraits of wedding party, getting ready. I'll stick with those two. And then when it comes to family formals, I'll switch to 24 to 70, especially for a first look if I want to be a bit more, versatile and get stuff. And then for ceremony, I'll do probably most of the times it's a 35 and then a 50, and then midway through the ceremony, once everyone's kind of up at the front, I have a 135 I'll slap on just to get nice portraits that way, and then it's also like a bit of a distance.
Do you find the 35 to be wide enough for a ceremony? I guess it depends on where you're standing.
Depends where I'm standing.
Yeah. I just always my one of my favorite photos to get during a ceremony is when the bride walks up and there's usually a nice hug between her and her parents and the groom. There's usually a little handoff there. And any time that I'm not doing the 24 to 70 at that point, I just lose the whole context of it.
Okay, interesting.
And years ago, I actually had a bride. This was the only negative review I'd ever had. One of the things that she said was that there were no photos of her walking down the aisle.
What?
And I was so confused by that because I'm like, there's literally 12 photos of you walking down the aisle.
Yeah.
It was at the Cambridge Mill. It's a really short aisle.
Oh, it's like the size of this table.
But what I realized was I was shooting on a 70 to 200 and 50 combo.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of context of people.
Got it.
So you could see her walking down the aisle. You could very clearly see guests behind her, all of that. But then I was like, maybe people do want like a couple of wide shots of like them. You can see as many people around them and looking at them as possible.
That's a great point because it is very contextually based on where you are. Like if I'm shooting at the Ancaster Mill, which has a bit more of a runway, I can typically stand up on the stairs and get behind the wedding party and get people walking around that way. If you're at somewhere like the Cambridge Mill, or God forbid, something smaller like the DTK Chapel, let's say, that's like the smallest runway for a walk down the aisle.
It's like literally 5.
It will be 24 to 70 because you do need to have the versatility.
Yeah. So anyways, sometimes your negative reviews teach you something. The review's gone, so that was nice,
okay. That's good. That's very good.
I was like, hi.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Oops.
I'll learn from this. I promise.
For video, I literally use all the lenses I have because I have to.
Yeah. Well, you have so many cameras running also.
Especially for ceremony, I have 4 cameras running. 2 that are kind of cross shots. So I'll do like a 50 on one and then 85 for like each side of the wedding party when they're at the front of the aisle. I'll do a 35 or 24 for the back of the room, and then do 24 to 70 on the camera on my person, just so I can be a bit more versatile when everyone's walking down the aisle. Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, I know, sorry, I know I'm not allowed to talk about flashes.
No, you're not.
But what I will say is that since a lot of what we do is primarily wedding work,
Yes.
We are at the mercy of the locations that we're in, whether you're in a dark cathedral, you're in a barn, you're in a really dark scenario. And depending on the rules of the church, perhaps, or whatever, you may not be allowed to use a flash. So I think it really is important. If you're going to buy a lens, just buy the one you're going to really need.
Yeah, look at your calendar and decide where you're going to be shooting for the next year or 2 years, maybe, and where you want to shoot, and then buy accordingly to that. Like buy according to the environment you're going to be in. One last question before we take a break. I want to know, what is the next lens you want to purchase? Is there anything on your radar? Anything that's interesting you want to look at for the new year or maybe the year after?
I've got bigger plans.
I understand.
So
there's no focal length that interests you that you don't currently have?
Lenses are not my concern at the moment.
Understood.
I'm going to, at some point in the near future, need all new lenses.
Got it. Check. Let's take a bit of a break, and then we'll talk about the gear that's associated with this time of year in terms of deals and purchases to make for the coming year.
Yes. I love to shop.
We love to shop. See you soon.
Okay, cool.
Lindsay, we're back.
We are back. Let's talk about sales.
Sales.
Not Not our sales.
No. Sales,
selling things.
setting sales for things we want to purchase this year. It's a great time of year. It's Black Friday. Boxing Day is coming up as well. The holiday season is built around commercialism.
And why would we not partake?
We need to partake.
That would be foolish of
It'd
us.
Be silly.
No, you know what? I do think it's a really smart time to shop.
Yeah.
Things that we need to buy will go back up to regular price come January.
Bingo.
And if you hopefully have a little bit of money saved up from the last few months, I think it's all about planning.
Yes.
I think our future over, the winter and all of that is all dependent on knowing how much money you have saved up and how much money you have coming in. And if you can help future you out, why would you not? So Amazon has some really good sales on lenses. I'm going to start there because lenses are usually like the first big thing.
Yeah. At the time of this episode dropping, I think Black Friday week starts like a couple days after.
Now.
So.
Yeah, like literally now. Yeah. So Black Friday on Amazon is a really big one. If you put things on watch lists or you put them into your cart, you'll probably get a notification saying something in your cart has dropped in price, which is really good. I do that with Best Buy. Anything that I have like on my wish list, put it into your cart or put it on a wish list.
They want you to buy it.
They'll start sending you notifications letting you know if something has dropped in price.
So what's in your cart?
It is I was going to say, it's also a good time to be following like photography influencers because usually like I'll put out like I'm not a photography influencer. I'll put out like a gift guide, but I'm sure like other people will also put out gift guides for things that they typically use that are hopefully going to get you good sales. One thing that I really need is a new camera bag.
Okay.
So I'm going to be shopping for that.
What are you looking at?
Listen, I love Peak Design. I'm a huge, huge Peak Design fan. I really wish that they would come out with a cuter toned fabric.
Yeah.
They currently have, so I really want like a light beige, kind of the color of this like oatmeal-y shirt I've got on.
Yeah.
I would really love a bag in that color. I would ideally love it in a faux leather. Since I think that that's not in the cards because they're really about like tactical
They're really about
fabric.
like rock climbing. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like they're all about like Bear Grylls style lifestyle.
Yeah, like if you're like if you like tech sales and you live
in San Francisco, you drive a one wheel.
I get it. Their bags are so nice though, and I've had the same bag.
Forever.
It literally can't fall apart.
Yeah.
Nothing is going wrong with it. I'm like, okay, well, this is just not what I want to look like. I see pictures of myself and I look like Dora the Explorer with this charcoal backpack on.
Yeah.
So I would love something that looks a little bit nicer.
Okay.
I'm going to have to do some more research because there are some really nice leather bags, but I would really love like a faux leather. I don't love the idea of a leather bag. But yeah, a new bag is on my horizon.
That'd be great.
For sure. And then the other thing is always more memory cards.
Never have enough.
SD cards. So usually I buy my SD cards on Amazon or on Best Buy. Amazon does have the best prices, but I warn you, some people are really just silly and they don't buy them directly from the actual supplier.
Yeah.
They'll buy it from like SunDisk. And I'm like, well, that's where you went wrong. It's called SanDisk. So make sure that if you are shopping on Amazon, you look at the store.
Yes.
And make sure that it's like the official SanDisk store or
Yes.
whatever. But they go on hella sale,
Yes,
like
sir.
crazy. So I'll usually buy like 20 cards.
Yeah. And it's a great time to, if you're shooting on like, I don't know, V30 and you want to upgrade to like a V60 or V90,
Yes.
the cost difference will be roughly the same. You know what I mean? Like look for the value saved and it's worth spending the extra money to get that higher, faster card.
Yeah, what are you thinking? What are you shopping for?
SD cards, always.
Yeah, of course.
Pretty much constantly.
They literally never stop that.
I like Angelbird because they're pretty high quality.
That's the card?
Yeah, they're called Angelbird. They're fantastic.
Oh,
They
sick.
make the card that we're recording this episode on for the Ninja
Is it one of
recorder.
the tough ones, like a Sony?
It's not crazy tough. It's the same factory in Taiwan. They all come from the same place.
Yeah.
But it's
You just like that it's blue or something.
no, it's jet black. It doesn't matter what the color. It's a
Oh,
quality
I have
card.
one of these.
You have two
I
of my 512s. I'd like those back, please. And they're all V90, and they work
I'm
with.
keeping them.
I need them back. They work with the cameras I have for like shooting raw
Yeah.
video, so they're high quality.
You need fast.
fast V90 cards. I'll probably re-up on those. If they had a 1 terabyte, I would just buy a ton of those because I'd never take my things out of the camera. They just live in there all the time.
That's crazy, though. That's so scary to me.
Looking at that, I'm looking at different tripods for video.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I want the lighter
I feel like
ones.
you
The ones I
always need
have,
more.
I always need more. I have 3 in here right now, but they're stationary. They live in the studio. But the ones I have currently for wedding videos are like big and clunky and annoying, and I want like light carbon fiber. Like
Okay.
I can put like
I'll keep
2
my
on my
eye out.
bag, two on my back, and like
Yeah.
carry with me. I don't want to wheel around a cart if I don't need to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The cart is not fun.
No, it's not great. It's helpful, but
Yeah.
if I could do cartless, that'd be so nice.
I love that.
And those are the 2 things I'm looking at. Everything else is
Okay.
fine. There's new cameras out, but I don't really give a shit. The cameras I have for this
Camera
year
strap?
work
Do you
just
ever
as well.
get a camera strap?
I have the what are they
design?
called? Not
Oh,
Peak
yeah.
Design. The
Rapid strap?
Rapid strap. Nope. The other one, Hold Fast.
Hold Fast
I
straps.
got that as a gift in 2010 for my parents for my birthday. Before I
That's
was doing
nice.
anything interesting with it, I'm like, I like this. This is cool. And they bought it for me. It was nice. So I have the old one.
It looks cool on you
looks
though. Whenever
fine.
I see like pictures of you, you look cool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you've got like this like cool suspender situation on, but they're not black, so
They're
like,
not
you don't look
black.
like you're trying to be like a ninja or something. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think they look nice.
They
You look very
nice.
cool.
We'll stick with those for
Wouldn't
a
really
bit.
work with my outfits.
No,
know?
they make like nylon ones that are like
No, I
this
think
color.
leather would be better for me.
go leather?
Like,
Okay.
yeah, I couldn't go nylon.
No.
Cheap looking. You
Fair
know what
enough.
I mean?
No, true. There's probably vegan leather too.
Maybe there is.
Yeah.
I bet somebody on Etsy or somebody like there are like
Mm-hmm.
other people that make them outside of these companies now, which
Yeah.
is kind of nice.
I do like the idea of having something like a not a fanny pack, but something that's. I don't want to carry the straps on a wedding day as well as a bag. It's just
I
so
agree.
much to shoot because then you have to worry about juggling the shoulder bag with the camera that's dangling through the Hold Fast strap, and it's always
Yeah.
been a bit of a challenge to get it up, and it's like this defeats the purpose of this being a quick,
Yeah.
efficient way to take a photo and bring a camera up to my face and let it drop down again. So there's some way to like strap a camera bag to my back that doesn't look like I'm some kind of pack mule in an efficient way would be amazing.
Okay, well, a girl can dream, I love that. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, the other thing that I really want is a nice pair of wedding shoes. This
Oh,
year,
yeah.
I did not.
That'd be nice.
I did not thrive in the footwear department.
Yeah.
I did just buy these new shoes.
What do you got? Hey-oh,
Like this.
New Balance.
Look at this like calf situation. This is great, Tim. This is a nice angle. Wow, I'm like really working on my flexibility. and
Yoga,
it's not-
dude.
These shoes look really dirty on camera, but
They are
that's
dirty.
just the
Let me
color.
just
They're
knock
not.
it
They're
over.
like brand new. I
going
literally
on
just
there?
unboxed them. Okay, well, don't worry. I'm gonna get up. So workout.
Good grief. New shoes. What are you looking at?
I need something that's got the support of a New Balance that doesn't look like a New Balance,
Yeah.
basically. So I'm just working on that. I got to figure out what that's going to look like.
It's one of the things we pride ourselves on is looking like we belong at a wedding on a wedding day.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever show up in jeans or like some
No.
kind of.
I've worn Vejas, right? Like
Yeah.
I think those at least look like a working professional
Mm-hmm.
kind of shoe, but they are the worst footwear I think that
Yeah.
exist. Like comfort wise. So it's just proof that everybody in California is like living a lie because you guys are all wearing these shoes and they're terrible.
Well, they
Like,
don't walk anywhere, Lindsay. They probably have hiking shoes
They're
for hiking.
incredibly uncomfortable.
They just drive everywhere. It's
Like
fine.
they are flatter than a Converse All Star. They're so bad. So I'm gonna look for some nice shoes.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of like things that are like high value things
Yeah.
that might be like a few $100s that I could get a little sale on. Yeah, I think that there's like, and there's also some really good like promos that usually come up at this time of year.
True.
With some of the brands that we work with. So thankfully, I already use these services, so I don't have to buy them
We
again.
talked about it in the last ad, so
Yes, yeah. So social
Angela?
templates is
Yep.
probably like the biggest. I would say that's the biggest sale of this year.
it's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for that, for all the people that are going to be doing that. I'm not excited for all of you guys to be the people in our local area, be reel making machines, because the one leg up I have is that I have social templates in my pocket to make reels really fast. But, we got to share the wealth here. So I am excited for her to be launching that annual plan. Is pretty crazy. And then usually, I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure Wooden Banana does a 50% off samples.
Oh, great.
Because it's a really good time for photographers to like get some new samples from the past year,
Yeah,
right? So
good call.
if you want samples for your studio or to show to clients, it's a good time to get yourself some samples to show clients what you could offer them.
Open houses are starting soon. They usually start in December and January and into February.
Buy
So
some nice frames,
buy some nice frames, some nice
albums.
images, some nice samples for your tabletop at your open house.
Think of the future.
Yeah.
With that being said,
We've
we
done
should
it.
probably maybe tell everybody about the sale that I'm running for my course. Here it is. I put together a course called Better Than Booked. Go to betterthanbooked.com. And in that course, I teach photographers how to have a beautiful career with wonderful clients where you get paid a sustainable amount. So you're not a starving artist. You're an artist that gets paid and gets paid well. I'm going to give you a little gift because it's the holidays. How about $100 off using the code SHOOTYOURSHOT? Go to betterthanbooked.com. On checkout, you're going to put in Shoot Your Shot and you're going to get $100 off. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Did you like that?
It was great.
Were you impressed? Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you
This has
guys.
been yet another episode of the Shoot Your Shot podcast with Timothy Musa and Lindsay Coulter.
If you have a question, feel free to leave it below at the Shoot Your Shot podcast or in the comments, anywhere you see our faces and names on the internet. Leave us a little DM. We'll get to your question.
We would love to hear from you. We will be back next week for another holiday episode. Can't wait to see you.
Bye.